The month of August soon will come, and that means we will get plenty of new awesome indie games. There are 15 games in this list, and we start with Mexican Ninja. Mexican Ninja is a roguelike beat-em-up that drops players into the wildly inventive setting of Nuevo Tokyo, a chaotic cultural collision between Japan and Mexico where narcos and yakuzas have merged into the oppressive narcusas. The most fascinating aspect of this title is its combat depth, specifically the way of the donkey skill tree and the outrageous Mexican jutsus that players can unleash. Rather than relying on simple button mashing, the game appears to reward precise positioning, perfect timing, and the creation of deadly custom builds during each roguelike run. By blending the frenetic energy of arcade classics with modern progression systems, it looks to offer a deeply rewarding and stylish brawler experience. Taking inspiration from the claustrophobic tension of Papers, Please, Security 51 places you in the unnerving role of a checkpoint guard stationed deep underground in Area 51. What makes this simulator particularly gripping is the escalating sense of paranoia it builds around the simple act of checking IDs. You aren't just looking for forged signatures, you are verifying clearances, matching names, and eventually conducting fingerprint and blood tests to ensure that the entity standing in front of you is actually human. The core tension lies in the elevator shaft behind you, a descent into unknown laboratories and anomalies, where a single mistake in your protocol could result in locking up an innocent janitor or unleashing a devastating infection upon the world. The expansive 50v50 large-scale battles of the franchise are pivoting to one of history's most complex conflicts in Hell Let Loose, Vietnam. The standout feature revealed so far is the profound asymmetry introduced into the battlefield, specifically the balancing of the US helicopter mobility against the NVA's intricate tunnel networks. The developers are leaning heavily into guerrilla warfare tactics, requiring entirely new strategies for movement and resource management in dense jungle environments. Coupled with a transition to epic online services to ensure reliable, high-quality directional voice chat, the game is shaping up to deliver an incredibly immersive and communicative squad-based experience, where teamwork is the only way to survive the foliage. Where most shooters put a nimble weapon directly in your hands, Iron Nest Heavy Turret Simulator locks you inside a colossal lumbering diesel punk war machine. The brilliance of this title lies in its sheer mechanical friction. You don't just aim and shoot, instead, players must take manual map measurements based on received coordinates, physically strain the hydraulics of the turret, and painstakingly gun-lay the cannons before unleashing devastating artillery strikes on the battlefield. It is a deliberate, tactile, and brutal interpretation of warfare that prioritizes technical operation and heavy machinery management over fast-paced reflexes, creating a highly specific and intensely atmospheric simulator. Anomaly President takes the roguelike genre and injects it with a bizarre, high-stakes political twist. The most unique hook here is the game's day and night cycle, which splits the gameplay into two radically different halves. By day, you're actively gathering votes and running a political campaign to legitimately overthrow a ruthless dictator. But by night, you physically transform into a lethal warrior, whether that be a cyber mage, a sword master, or a custom hybrid, to actively assassinate your enemies. This duality of diplomatic strategy and high-octane action promises a compelling loop, forcing players to balance their public perception with their underground combat prowess in order to seize the presidency.
Polite and understanding. Is that clear? Keep building the
Grimclaw's forces have reached our shore.
Wild Blue Skies is a vibrant love letter to the classic 90s on-rails shooters, brought to life with stunning anime-inspired visuals and tight modern controls. The most exciting element of this arcade-style flight combat game is its commitment to replayability through branching mission paths and a deep mastery system. As you soar alongside Bowie Stray and the Blue Bombers, your encounters with rival squads and the evil Grimclaw forces won't play out the same way twice if you choose to explore hidden routes. It looks to perfectly capture the nostalgic thrill of chasing high scores while offering enough narrative banter and mechanical depth to keep the skies feeling fresh on every sortie. Set in an atmospheric 2.5D pixel art world, Kill the Shadow is a detective game that twists the standard investigation formula with a powerful supernatural mechanic. You play as Lucas, a former police officer who is accompanied by a mysterious ethereal shadow, capable of quite literally seeing into the past. This unique investigative tool allows players to reconstruct crime scenes and uncover hidden truths in a semi-open environment, ensuring that gathering clues is as much about temporal manipulation as it is about deduction. With multiple endings resting on the choices you make, the integration of this shadow entity seems poised to offer a deeply consequential and narratively rich mystery.
If anything happens to him, you'll regret it. Hail me.
Entering the fiercely competitive Metroidvania space, Akatori immediately catches the eye with its striking 2.5D visual style, seamlessly blending crisp pixel art characters against richly detailed 3D environments. You step into the shoes of Mako, a teenage martial artist raised in the Firebird Temple, but the true star of the previews is her primary tool, a mystical staff housing a sealed red bird. It allows for a highly mobile, movement-driven system, where players can chain fluid combos on the ground and in midair, or an essential traversal tool, enabling gliding, wall hooking, and momentum-driven kung fu parkour across highly vertical, era-spanning realms. For anyone who spent their childhood huddled around a CRT television playing split-screen shooters, Agent 64 Spies Never Die is targeting that exact frequency of nostalgia. Developed by Replicant D6, the game is an unapologetic homage to 90s console FPS titles, capturing the distinct low-poly aesthetic and objective-based level design of the era. The most intriguing aspect is how accurately it seems to replicate the specific feel of those classic espionage games, from the varied mission parameters to the chunky, deliberate gunplay. It's a pure, concentrated blast of retro action that aims to modernize the beloved mechanics of 64-bit spy adventures without losing their original soul.
Became men.
You're the only guy that grows
Agefield High Rock the School is a coming-of-age adventure that channels the specific rebellious energy of early 2000s raunchy teen comedies. Set in an era of flip phones and high school angst, the game's most unique hook is its overarching focus on social dynamics as graduation looms on the horizon. Players are tasked with building friendships, sparking romances, and orchestrating acts of rebellion against the school administration. By prioritizing narrative-driven social interactions and era-accurate nostalgia, it looks to offer a highly cinematic and humorous RPG experience that perfectly captures the messy, high-stakes drama of early millennium high school life.
Hey.
And things that teenagers experienced way too early. No one.
maintenance work and a program.
Continuing the absurd legacy of its predecessor, Breathedge 2 brings back the dark, ironic humor of retro-futuristic space survival. The most notable evolution in this sequel is the expansion of the game's scope. You're no longer just floating through wreckage alone, but actively managing a crew of irreplaceable companions. The game promises new worlds, new enemies, and the overarching goal of dismantling the monolithic Breathedge Corporation without entirely losing your mind in the process. By marrying rigorous survival mechanics with a constant stream of satirical narrative commentary, it aims to deliver a uniquely funny and punishing intergalactic sandbox.
Officer under attack!
Duskfade is a gorgeous 3D action platformer that feels like a spiritual successor to the golden age of mascot platformers. The standout mechanic in this visually striking world is the seamless integration of dynamic platforming and fast-paced combat, aided by the protagonist's mechanical cuckoo companion. As you jump, grapple, and glide through realms plunged into eternal night by a mysterious clock tower, the game emphasizes flow and momentum. The environmental design, ranging from ethereal forests to sunlit dunes shaped by master clockmakers, suggests a deeply atmospheric journey that pairs nostalgic platforming challenges with an emotional coming-of-age narrative. Taking heavy aesthetic cues from BioShock, Twisted Tower is a hauntingly beautiful FPS set within an abandoned 1950s carnival resort. The most fascinating element of this game is how it turns childhood innocence into absolute horror, forcing players to engage in punchy, bloody gunplay against a horde of corrupted fairy tale mascots. As you ascend the tower to save the love of your life, you must collect bizarre toys that function as traversal tools, allowing you to jump, dash, and grapple through uniquely themed levels, like a clown casino and a water park. It is a delightfully macabre blend of tight shooting mechanics and twisted amusement park exploration.
We'll sacrifice everything.
Pax Autocratica attempts a highly ambitious genre fusion, blending a darkly satirical colony simulator with a first-person roguelite shooter. The brilliance of this concept is the dual responsibility it places on the player. You're tasked with macro-managing a prosperous totalitarian state by enforcing strict policies and building infrastructure, but you're also required to drop down into the dirt and lead your troops directly in first-person combat. The game loop promises an escalation from desperate skirmishes to large-scale mechanized warfare, forcing you to literally fight for the oppressive regime you're trying to establish, creating a truly unique hybrid of strategy and action.
Let's go.
Drawing inspiration from titans of the turn-based tactics genre like XCOM and Jagged Alliance, Warhounds sets out to redefine tactical combat with an elite mercenary squad in Africa. The most compelling promises the developers have made is the complete removal of fake RNG. Instead of missing point-blank shots due to a dice roll, the game relies entirely on true ballistics and lethal, predictable tactics. Wrapped in a gritty, old-school action movie atmosphere where you must recruit unique fighters and upgrade your base of operations, Warhounds looks to reward meticulous planning and punishing strategic execution, making it a dream title for hardcore tacticians craving consistency in their combat. Before we end the video, I have several bonus games for you.
Underground for fragments and resources, and living the cozy life of a Nimbit keeper on the surface. So, how do you do all of this?
John, I left behind someone important. Someone I love. I will be able to go back after my trial.
They're pushing all the line!
So, that is the video. Do you have another favorite game you're waiting for? Please let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, guys, and see you in the next video.